just figured out what the 88 represented in the dream that I had in 2008. As I'm putting in the pictures for the video here. So this little segment will be put right after the picture that I just put in. But in the dream, I'm down there in the basement after having been given the key card by Hinckley with number 77 in red on it for blood, death, live, taken. And 77, as I've now figured out this year, with it being 177 years since Brigham Young's Exodus, technically fleeing the country, but they call him the Mormon Moses because they call it an exodus to this valley. But it's the fake exodus. It's the insurrection, not the resurrection. If you watch those videos of mine explaining that. And so thus, 177. My mom being 77 years old when she died. Clearly, mother and church are equated as the same. And 88 was the room number, as 77 was the room number for President Hinckley. But 88 was the room that I saw right before. And in room number 88, there's piles and piles of papers all over the place. And 88 is 8th month, 8th year, 2008, August 88. It just hit me. All these years. Because right after that dream, boom, flood of inspiration, which ended up being on paper for how to design, construct, and run Zion, which needs a fall of the great and abominable church so that Mormons can resurrect the Exodus to go to Zion. Amazing.
I have faith that the Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith. But it will not be saved in Washington.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
To my Mormon friends, my Latter-day Saint friends, think of him as Captain Moroni. He seeks not power but to pull it down. He seeks not the praise of the world or the fake news, but he seeks the well-being and the peace of the American people.
Governor Spencer Cox does an about-face and is now endorsing former President Donald Trump in the November election.
I'm doing everything I can to help and support him.
I'm Ben Winslow on Utah's Capitol Hill. The governor, who has clashed with the former president in the past, now appears to be getting on board the Trump train.
I think it explains very well where my heart is and where my head is right now.
Take a look at what happened.
Following the attempted assassination of former President Trump, the governor sent him a letter. In a copy shared with Fox 13 News, the governor acknowledged their differences, but wrote that Trump has the ability to unify the country. At a news conference, the governor explained his change of heart. He believes the former president can lower the temperature and act as a unifying force in a polarized American society.
My commitment to him was that I would help him try to lower the temperature in this country. And I sincerely hope that from what I've heard from people around him, that he is committed to this, that again, this is something that hasn't been high on his list in the past. I think that's probably an understatement. And so I'll work closely with him to help do that.
Will you vote for him?
Yeah.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, I'm sure right now, isn't it? I don't know. I don't care. I just know of the past. Know that it's going on because it's in the news. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints State of Utah parade of adult and child trafficking and adult and child sex trafficking, having fled the United States of America, claiming religious freedom to practice raping children and murdering of the native inhabitants of this valley to establish their kingdom of Deseret. And so in the parade, there will be military forces. The police. Oh, but the pretty horses. It doesn't matter, they're the police on them. And so, I don't... It's sad, literally sad, that the blatantly obvious is not blatantly obvious to those who are caught up in it. And where are ya? Where are ya? Oops, went too far. There we are, somewhere in here. Yeah, there it is, 22. Mosiah 29. Talking about King Noah, Mosiah has given up the throne to establish a constitutional republic over the United States of America. And he warns the people about an iniquitous king and why you need to have a constitutional republic, not a democracy, because people can be fooled into voting for a fascist dictator and wanting to be bad, naughty, naughty. And so he says that an unrighteous leader has his friends in iniquity, keepeth his guards about him, teareth up the laws of those who had reigned in righteousness before him, trampleth under his feet the commandments of non-Trinitarian Jesus. Who wrote the 10 Commandments? It was Jesus, right? So it's Trinitarian Jesus, not non-Trinitarian Jesus. Oh no, what do we do? Wait, it was Moses, wasn't it? Moses wasn't Jesus Christian. Jesus hadn't been invented yet. It's the Jewish 10 Commandments. They're now being spread throughout all the nation as Trinitarian Christian, except in the state of Utah where it's being enforced as non-Trinitarian Jesus Christian. Oh boy. So, yeah. This is why the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has a security firm. In case you didn't know, they're packing. And so the church security, in their seal, they have 2 strands of wheat on either side, supporting the mission of the church. Really? To shoot to kill? To punish and enslave? Is that the mission of the church? To hold people in bondage? Really? Is that the mission of the church? That's what they say. And so, LDS Church Security, CSD, with Moroni blowing his trumpet and flames of gray flowing from him. That's the badge. It's all on the seal. And so, yeah, they're packing. They got guns. Just like the police are used in the parade. I'm surprised that they don't have the federal judges marching in the parade. You belong to me. Ooh. 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 A song I would like to hear again. Plus, it could, from the lyrics, apply. Interesting. We'll write it down, just in case. I was going to do Danger Danger's Naughty Naughty song. I was listening to that this morning while perusing the news. Oh Oh dear, Carly, he does not belong to you if he does not want you. He should want you. Why would any man not want you? You just can't take away his agency and then he'll want you. If you take away his agency, he's not going to want you. He's going to want to run away and hide. Pursue other women who won't take away his agency. It's a real simple thing, and yet women have struggled with it. But I see his potential! Potential! So, Joseph Smith did not have a security force. Amazing, he was following the Book of Mormon. Strange. Why isn't the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints following the Book of Mormon? What are they afraid of dying for? Every single prophet in the Book of Mormon did not have security. And see what happened, Travis? They were murdered, assassinated. Yeah, but again, they are not wanting to protect criminal activity. That's the big difference. Joseph Smith was not trying to take away other people's agency. He was not trying to be a mean bully. The whole 1838 coup that everybody accused Joseph Smith of changing his whole personality, beginning priestcraft, sexual deviant, murder, terrorism, sedition, becoming Christian, criminal, inverted pentagram, changing the administration succession so that the president of the 12 now takes over the church. He's now the Danite leader of terrorism. He's approved by his family and Sidney Rigdon, who were there from the beginning. He denies the power of revelator and translator and prophet to have only titles. He's a denier of religious freedom to others, and turned his visionary accounts as well as the Book of Mormon into literal history, just like Constantine created Christianity to do to the Jews. So now Joseph is an anti-Semite. Oops, that's something we need to add. Anti-Semite. And people actually fall for this? People believe it, huh? And so, MAGA is being accused of being racist. Oh my God, MAGA has never been racist. They have blacks that support MAGA. In case you hadn't been following me, I grew up in Southern California. My peers as kids are the adults that are now overthrowing our government. All that are being done right now, Roe v. Wade, Black Lives Matter protests, LGBTQ, all of that, I heard from the little kids' mouths as a kid. And here we have Project 2025, a terrorist weapon, the whole playbook of terrorism to coup America, and our federal government's not doing a single thing to stop it. So yes, of course they're racist, but they're claiming Harris was the DEI candidate. DEI is an acronym for diversity, equality, or is it equity? individuality, something like that. It is racist in and of itself, because it goes back to the Civil War era with the segregation policy of separate but equal. You got to keep them separated. And so you had in the South, you had bathrooms for whites, bathrooms for blacks, drinking fountains for whites, drinking fountains for blacks, schools for whites, schools for blacks. And so the momentous day that it just makes me cry when I see that little girl being escorted by the federal officers into a white man's school, as all of the white parents are screaming at her, calling her names, and threatening her. That was a sad day in American history. But nonetheless, such was the case. Why am I crying at the beginning of the video? Just like Fall Guy, I watched that last night. They're making me cry at the beginning of the video. How am I going to watch the rest of the video if you're making me cry at the beginning? Piss me off. You're supposed to make me cry at the end. Which they did that too. And of course, the woman had to be an abuser. Let's burn you again. I'm gonna have to stop the camera. And so yeah, Democrats are racist because of how they want to be inclusive of that's the I. Inclusive of everybody, but have everybody separated. That laws are to be passed for each and every single separate individual group. Already forgot the I word. And that's wrong. The Constitution was purposely written to be general, so that everyone is included equally at the same time. And so, yeah, there's been a problem. Oh, now I'm attacked. Oh, man, so I can take care of myself. So here I am bashing the deep state Dems, and they're attacking me just because they don't hear what I'm saying. They assume that I'm attacking the church, which, yeah. And so, back in 2020's election, Democrats are pretty much demanding that a diverse DEI candidate be put on the ballot for president. And it ended up being White Joe. Old man, White Joe. The stereotypical candidate. The cookie cutter president. And so he was then pressured to have a DEI vice president. And so, yeah, Kamala Harris got chosen because of that. And so MAGA is right. Kamala Harris is a DEI selection for vice president. And so now that Joe is out, she's the vice president, and so it's her turn. Rather than choosing somebody who's the best candidate for the job. That's the whole DEI philosophy. It's not about putting in the best qualified person to do the job. It's about diversity, making sure everybody gets a turn to participate. And so, if you look at Harris's record, you see that she's soft on crime. She doesn't want the death penalty, and so she's going to not invoke the Insurrection Act against domestic terrorism. She's going to let it happen, let it escalate, get worse, and America will fall. Ta-da! Bullies win. Isn't that great? Just like Biden refused to do it. She's also an anti-Semite. So much for the diversity. She's married to a Jew, and yet she has exposed herself as being anti-Semitic, which doesn't make any sense. Because I understand from my white supremacist peers how they are anti-Semites, but at the same time they say they're not. Huh? You have to understand the Christian nationalist attachment to the white supremacy to understand that they only like the Jews as long as it's because the Jews are going to be attacked by all the world, and then Jesus is going to come from outer space and murder everybody, and the remaining Jews that are left will be converted to Trinitarian Christianity. Right, Mormons? We have not been anti-Semitic at all. We have friends that are Jews. Jesus was a Jew. Oh my God. The Book of Mormon is Jewish, which means it's not Christian. No Jesus. But it's in the name, in the text. Oh, it has to do with Isaiah, guys. I keep going over this with you, video after video. Isaiah is salvation of Yah. Jesus is Yah of salvation. Any questions? Yeah? Oh my God. Jesus is the fictional character of prophecy and revelation, fulfilling the prophecies of Isaiah. And so Isaiah prophesies of a Jewish Christ, Messiah ben David, Emmanuel, who will be born of Virgo, which is the revelation of the day and the hour. That's why Isaiah throws in, I give unto you a sign. And the sign in Paleo-Hebrew is the first and the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which forms the shadow of the sun god at noonday, Emmanuel, on the earth over the United States of America for the latter days of the 3 days of darkness, from 2017 to 2024. Oh, it happened already. Wow. Amazing. Isaiah is true. Now everybody knows the prophecies of Isaiah and can now understand him. No more excuses for not reading Isaiah in your Book of Mormon, because now it's all been fulfilled. Oh, you still believe in Jesus, do you? You're waiting for Jesus to come? Well, he never showed. Revelation 19, 11, and 17, 8 April 2024. That's when you're expecting him to come from the clouds of glory. He never showed. Oopsies. Christianity was proven wrong on that day, and not a single Christian believes it. They're still living in their little faith bubble of denialism. The Jewish Christ showed, and it was glorious. His skin is white as leprosy. And so, also in the news yesterday, after being grilled on Monday, the Secret Service director has been booted out. MAGA pushed for it, set it all up to kick her out. And we should investigate this, because they're claiming her failure to protect Trump is the cause. Google search sucks. Dear God. Director. Wow. Okay, so they have the acting guy, Ronald L. Rowe Jr. And so, yeah, Biden still has to make his official decision and has to get approved with Senate confirmation. But the previous woman is whom I'm wanting. Where is she so that I can click on her Wikipedia? List of chiefs and directors. Okay. There she is. There's the blue. And 22. Okay. So only 2 years. She was put in by Biden. Interesting. Why did you wait that long? Let's go back and find out who it was previously. James M. Murray was put in by Trump as he replaced Randolph Alls, and he replaced William J. Callahan by Donald Trump. You're fired! You're fired! You're fired! So James M. Murray did a better job because he lasted 3 years. And so clearly, you can see that MAGA is purposely getting rid of Kimberly as the Biden choice, even though Biden will be choosing a new person. But it's unclear as to whether this Ronald L. Rowe Jr. would be a Trump's supporter. Let's find out. I mean, Biden can still choose another person, but, you know, DEI, it's his turn, even though he's a white male. He's from West Palm Beach, Florida. Oh my God. As part of the Secret Service's September 11th attacks response. He was stationed in New York City. Okay, so that would be a Bush administration thing. Regarding cybersecurity, Rowe led the creation of several analytical products while serving as a joint duty assignment to the National Intelligence Council in 2023, later the U.S. intelligence community, regarding their products, some of the most authoritative assessments of the difficulties and risks to national security that the country faced. And I'm reading that one because if you saw the video the other day, I went over Project 2025 about cybersecurity. They're getting rid of it. No more cybersecurity. And so he is a proponent of cybersecurity, even though he was assigned by Bush for the September 11th attacks response. And so this will be interesting to see where the Trump administration will feel about him. 24-year Secret Service veteran. staff letter that the Associated Press was able to get, he stated, "At this moment in time, we must remain focused. We will rebuild the American public's trust and confidence, as well as the trust placed in us to protect them." So he's not talking Trump, but so yeah, pay attention to that. Pay attention. It's also important that she was the one assigning who protects Trump. That's also part in play. Okay, so how far are we here? Yeah, and so despite all this, Harris being chosen, before officially being chosen, has Dems in their faith bubble denialism that all is well in America now. That now Kamala will beat Trump and everything will be fine and America will be restored to its former glory. She won't make America great again. Oh my God. Bullying 101. And Dems keep falling for it. And so no, she won't. Because we know her history. She's soft on crime, no death penalty. She's an anti-Semite. And she will not do what's necessary to save and protect America. It's made very clear. If I had seen America first in his statement quote, yeah, he would have been a Trump supporter. That's the KKK slogan. You know them by their certain little clues that they give out. Rod Rosenstein, remember him? Yeah, in his resignation letter, he put America first. Oops, he revealed who he was and why he sabotaged the whole investigation. Gotta watch. Gotta pay attention. And so, yeah, Dems are now trying to fool their followers with the extremist hype for Kamala and kicking Biden to the curb. Just stay down, Biden. Just stay down. Don't go back on tour. It ain't gonna work. Should have invoked the Insurrection Act. You chose this policy instead. So, bleep you. An Insurrection Act is the only thing that can be done because MAGA forced it. They're gonna do it. Day one, Project 2025. Bloodbath. Revenge on everyone of the other party. And who betrayed MAGA? Trump. Trump is MAGA. MAGA is Trump. In case you didn't know, there is no Republican Party. If you are not on board with the Trump train, you are part of the deep state Dems. You are not a Republican in their eyes. You are a betrayer. And so there is no Republican Party anymore. There is no GOP. It is MAGA. And they still keep forgetting this, as the press keeps talking about the GOP and Republican and blah, blah, blah. No, it's MAGA. Nobody's getting it through their head. And this is the danger that I see on those who vote Democrat, are that they think that everything's fine now. We just get Kamala to win the presidency this November and ignore Trump saying that if I lose, there will be bloodshed. On his first day in office, when he wins, there will be bloodshed. If he loses, there will be bloodshed. Everybody's in denial of this. Everybody is not seeing the danger in America. There are domestic terrorists and insurrectionists that are overthrowing our government. They are in power of government. puts his friends in positions of power. And so, yes, Judge Cannon was put in by Trump. Why? Because Trump knew what was going to come in the next 4 years. He was prepared. And so, yeah, she did it. Exactly as Trump put her in to do him a favor, though. And so the Supreme Court justices, yeah, no duh, they're voting for Trump. And the Dems are just dumb, dense, desensitized, delusional. They're not getting it. These guys are evil. They want bloodshed, bloodbath. As kids, they're talking about this. And here they are as adults. And the Dems are like, oh, yay, we're going to win the election and we're going to get abortion rights back and we're going to have DEI across the nation. No, you won't. You'll be dead. Because you're not buying the bump stocks that the Supreme Court said is to be the weapon of choice for the Civil War. So, in investigating the assassination of Trump, nobody ever has thought to consider, was there a connection between the firefighter who was assassinated and the shooter? They're from the same community, aren't they? This is what you do during an investigation. Just in case Trump might have been the diversion to assassinate the other one. Nobody thinks about these things. Just like with Joseph Smith being assassinated. Everybody assumes it's the mob. The mob was acquitted. So who did it? If it wasn't the mob, who assassinated Joseph Smith? Well, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints keeps insisting that the United States was wrong, that those acquitted men are guilty. Right, John Taylor and Willard Richards? Nobody does a thorough investigation. Everybody allows their biased assumptions to blind them from evidence that needs to be included. Right, Christianity, Mormons? So we're all gonna die. So, that's it. Just a security thing. The church has security. And this is why Mormons attack me. You saw the cyber terrorism on my camera. They send in the little signal to freeze it. And so that tampers with the videos. Because what do that they don't want shown? Videos on YouTube. Thus, brand new camera. They've got the signal. I don't have computer smarts. Maybe there's something to flip on a switch to prevent it. I don't know. I just purchase the things that I can purchase and expect that it runs right. You know, when I got cyber terrorized on the Valentine's Day massacre, it still hasn't been fully restored. I don't know what to do. And if Best Buy can't figure it out, then it won't get fixed. I don't have security guards. I pay for a security service, but if it doesn't want to work, there's nothing I can do about it. Because who else am I going to go to? AVG Avast? That just got busted by the FCC? Or the FEC, I guess. Which will be gutted under Trump. But dear God, yeah, from when I got out in 2014. And so, yes, that's what I needed to find out with what happened to me in 2008. Are the prophets knowingly culpable for what was done to me by Mormons in 2008. Yep. How do I know? I found the receipt. When you're investigating a crime scene, you gotta follow the money. Before, during, and after. Who got rewarded for the crime? Those who were acquitted did not get rewarded for the crime, other than acquitted. They were not given financial compensation for what they did. But John Taylor and Willard Richards were financially compensated for being there. What were they there for? They weren't arrested. These are the things you have to include in your investigation. You cannot dismiss it because you believe the church is true and that there would be no spies within Joseph Smith's church, no secret combination trying to murder Joseph Smith and coup it and overthrow it and change it to Christianity with the new name, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That naivety is going to get you in bondage to the enemy. Just like the Dems are heading for a heartbreak this election. Maybe I should use the song. It doesn't really, but it was kind of a cool remake of the Kiss song, but I Was Made for Loving You. Wasn't that it? So yeah, they were using both. They were using the original Kiss one, and then they were using the new guy that they promoted for the movie. That they did have him eventually in that one scene. But I was getting all excited. I was going, oh, there's a remake of the Kiss song? And no, it's just a cover band. And then Phil Collins had his debut in there, but it's not part of the soundtrack, I understand. And then there's another woman that's in there when he was in the truck having ocular difficulties. Are you crying? No. And so, yeah, what happened in 2008 involved church security. They were going to lock me up, and they did. They worked with the church, with Mark Shurtleff, and chose to hide me from society for the rest of my life, and my parents joined them. My parents were premeditatively, well, yeah, it could have been after that my parents were called and were told to go to psychologists to figure out what to do with me. Which brings back suicidal tendencies, institutionalized, which could also be used in the song, All I Wanted Was a Mountain Dew. Not a Pepsi. Pepsi's okay, it's better than Coca-Cola, but still, I prefer Mountain Dew. We think it is in your best interest, my best interest. What do you know about my best interest? Nightmares on the corner of my mind. And so, yeah, I was set up and framed. All I did was petition the government for a redress of grievances in the state of Utah. I had already tried the federal courts, and the Mormons rejected me. Kimball and Benson. And so, yeah, it was hilarious in 2020 when Kimball got assigned to my case. Hey, Kimball, remember me? You got to recuse. And he immediately recused. And so, yeah, it's not illegal to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And yet, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints said, oh, hell no. Nobody will dare to molest or make us afraid. And so church security was on the forefront to give the orders of the church to the government of Utah to get me framed and blamed, and disappeared for 6 years of my life. It's supposed to be the rest of my life, but oopsies occurred. 3 key oopsies that got my freedom in 2014. And here I am, ruined. I was only given compensation of $21,000 in 2015. But I was not allowed to spend it on what I wanted to spend it on. And so, yeah, the majority of what I did have it spent on didn't make it to this place. But yeah, that's how I found out. Was in 2019. I found the receipt. The church had paid the person who suggested to the judge, Judge Vernice Treese, that I be incarcerated indefinitely, without trial, without conviction, without hearings, that I just be disappeared for the rest of my life. And it only lasted 6 years instead of the rest of my life. But nonetheless, here I am. I'm still standing, better than I ever did. Picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, if the church were true, they wouldn't need security. They would boldly testify of the truth. They wouldn't fear the enemy, because the United States of America automatically protects religions in the First Amendment. This is a land of freedom if you follow the Constitution. If you don't follow the Constitution, America falls. Welcome to November and the prophecy from the Book of Mormon warning of 3rd Nephi, chapter 7. So yeah, Brigham Young immediately established a security force. Said, well, see what happened to Joseph? But Brigham is the changes that were accused of Joseph in 1838. So it's blatantly obvious. So it's sad to know what's going to happen and watching it happen helplessly. It's not like the prophets who see the dangers and are screaming on papyrus, warning the future of what's coming. We're in it. It's now. And it's happening. Just as the warning voice warned us. And nothing I can do is going to change your mind. You're still gonna vote for Trump. You never went to the Capitol to save America. Those who went to the Capitol as Mormons went to overthrow it. And so Mitt Romney, They were going to murder him. It wasn't just hang Mike Pence. There's the whole congressional hearing, where they showed the video. Mitt Romney had to run for his life. And now he's quitting. The 2024 election, and now he's quit. He's a Republican, isn't he? Oh, he's not MAGA. Which means MAGA thinks of Romney as the enemy. Senator Mike Lee's not quitting. He made sure to get in to be voted in 2022. His third great-grandfather was involved in that coup of Joseph Smith's in 1838, as well as the Mountain Meadows Massacre on 9/11, 1857. Chris Stewart, Curtis, and Cox. You know, what a joke he is. I support Trump. The enemy is here. The enemy is exposed. It's blatantly obvious. And so why are people pretending to be dumb?